Hey everyone, in this video we're going to do a small square room with a lot of sunlight coming through one of the two windows. It's going to have a vaulted ceiling with some decorative parts of the ceiling and a chandelier, so here we go. Alright, I know because I'm pointing at a window, the lighting on this is going to be absolutely horrible as far as the video quality goes, but this is what it looks like. This is the room, there's the ceiling. Got a chandelier, got two windows. The sun is pointing straight through that window to the left. We have a wood floor, all right? So this is what we're going to deal with today. We want to make sure we see right out that window. I've turned the blinds to where I could see out of the window. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my composition and we'll get started. Okay, first things first, composition. All right, here's what we're looking at right now. Put this on video here. When I switch over to camera, it's gonna crop this differently, so I'll have to do this twice, but I want to give you an idea about how I'm going to get this. Now look over to the left, there's where the wall ends. I'm gonna turn till I get right there to the edge of it. I'm making sure that I do have that ceiling. I'm gonna raise the camera up just a little bit, capture more of that ceiling. There we go, because the realtor is going to want to show off that ceiling. I'm going to move to the right just a little bit more to fix that left-hand side. All right, make sure I'm as level as I can be. And I use my leveling bubble on my geared head to get everything fairly level. All right, next thing I'm going to do, ISO 320 as always, f7.1 as always. So the only thing that's going to vary here will be the shutter speed, and I'm going to turn down the shutter speed to 160th of a second. That seems to be the best sync speed for this camera that I'm using, which is the A6500 Sony. And I know the windows are going to still be a little bit blown out, but we'll contend with that as we go. So next you're going to see how I'm going to be using the flashes for this. All right, I'm going to turn the power on the AD200 to, well, I'm going to just turn it to full blast. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to point it straight up. My focus point is going to be on the corner of the room right in between the two windows. I'm going to point it up. And photo number one, way too bright. So let's kick that back to a fourth power. Try it again. Looking fairly decent. I'm going to back it off just a little bit more to an eighth. All right, so I think I've got what I need there. Now the next thing I need to do is worry about the outside window in the floor. So what I'm going to do here, I'm at 160th of a second, 7.1, ISO 320. I'm going to take my ISO and drop it down to 100, which will darken up the window very nicely. Now I'm going to do the window pull method I've shown many times, but just in case anybody's new with us, I'll talk about it again. So now I'm exposing outside of the window, and what I'm going to do is light up everything around the window to make it brighter than outside, because when I go into post, it will help me get the window pull, and I'll show you that when we get to post. So I'm going to aim the flash directly at the window at a fourth power. Okay, let me come back towards me a little bit to make it a wider spread there. Actually, there we go. We'll go with that. I'm going to get a couple of it just down low. Make sure I've got that all brightened up around there. Now, I do something just in case on the floor. I want to brighten up the floor, but not a whole lot, because I may get a floor pull out of that. There we go. I'm just aiming it just a little bit down, right about there. And we'll see if I'm able to use that one in post. So let's get to editing. I'll see you there. Okay, I've got all the photos loaded into Adobe Bridge. So let's just go through them real quick and we'll pick out which ones we're going to use. So first one, this is the one where the flash was turned up way too high. So let's go to the next one. Ceiling looks fairly good. There's no shadows that I can see on the back wall for the chandelier. That's always my main concern. And windows blown out, but I'm not concerned with that because I know we got some good window shots coming up. So I'm going to hit Command A. That's just a way that I mark the photo here with green that I want to keep that one. Let's go to the next one. It's a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and keep that one just in case I need it. Don't know if I will. Now for the window pull, this is the ones where I was flashing the window to make it brighter. See that shadow from the chandelier? That's why I probably won't use that one. Let's see if there's a good lower and upper half. Okay, so there's a decent upper half. I'll keep that one, and then the lower half one, let's see, I'll use that one for the lower half of the window. Can't think of anything else from here we'll need. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take only the approved ones here. There's 4 of them, and I'm going to select all of them, right click, and I'm going to open them in Camera Raw. So I'll see you just a second in Camera Raw. Okay, I'm back here in Camera Raw. I'm going to select all the photos. So Shift and pick all the photos. I'm going to go over here and apply a preset, the presets that I already have done, which is like sharpening and lens correction, chromatic aberration, taking that out, and some little things like that. And my presets, I have a different video that's showing you all my presets and actions. So if you want to know what those are, make sure to go check out my video on actions and presets. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these to all of them. Then we are going to go in to the first one, and what I'm going to do is work on the white balance of each of the photos just to get them all to where they're the same, and then I can adjust the white balance, the final one, later on. So I'm going to click on any section of the picture that's white. We have a lot of white to pick from here. So let me just take a sample from this side. It's a little too magenta. Let's try up here at the ceiling, which is very white. Kind of like that better. So I'm going to pick right here, go to the next photo, select it again, next photo, select it again. Actually, I have to undo that one, and I'll explain why. Command Z to undo. The reason I undid that one is because now I'm using these for outside of the window, not in the room. So actually, I'm not going to do any white balance adjustment because it looks pretty decent outside as well anyway. And my last photo still looks good outside, so I'm going to leave that the same. Okay, I'm going to select all of the photos. So Command A on a Mac, Control A on a PC. To select all the photos, I'm going to click Open. And the next thing I'm going to do is put this together in Photoshop. See you there. Okay, we're in Photoshop now. We got all of our photos here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. First thing I'm going to do is run one of my actions, and that is the sharpen action. Again, I go over these under my preset and action video, so make sure again to check that out. Pick sharpen, file, automate, and batch. So I'm going to apply the sharpening to all the open files. Okay. What that does is it makes the images a lot sharper. I'm going to start with the first photo we have where everything looks fairly decent in this first photo. I'm going to select it. Command A to select everything in the photo. Command C to copy it. Go to the second picture. Command V. And now that I have them in layers on top of each other, make a mask on the first layer. Now I'm going to toggle back, see if there's anything from the second photo that I want to use. And maybe the floor. It's a little better exposed on the second photo than it is on the first. So now that I have a white mask, go to the brush tool. I'm going to paint with black. I'm going to use opacity. I mean, I could pick anything I want here, but let's just try 40%. And use the arrow keys to adjust my brush and bring in, reveal the floor on the second photo. And I'm just clicking and dragging. I'm not re-clicking, because if I do, it will do another 40%. Right now, this is the initial 40% opacity. Okay, let's try one more. I'm going to click again, click. Now when I drag again, a little bit darker there. Okay, I'm kind of cool with the way that looks there at the bottom. So go here to the right, right-click, flatten image. Now I'm going to Command A, Command C. I want to go over here to one of the window pulls. So I'm using this picture for the upper half because that's the flash brightened up the upper portion of this photo. I'm going to use the next one for the bottom half. So Command V, paste the photo. I'm going to duplicate, and now this photo that we worked on is on top. Underneath is our window pull. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that background layer by bringing it down here to the plus, let go, background copy, drag it to the top. Now I've got an action called window pull. I guess you guys know where to find the actions at this point. Go back to my past video to check it out. I'm going to run that. Now what I'm going to do, notice it made a black mask. I am going to paint with white to reveal. Go to 100%. And I am going to work on the upper half of this window. Now, the reason I don't go any lower is, see where that shadow was right here? So I'm going to have to go back, reverse. Now I'm going to paint with black to get rid of it. All up there. All right, so there's the lower half. I'm going to right click over here, flatten image. Command A, Command C, go to the last picture, Command V, and duplicate that background layer, bring it to the top, put A. All right, so here's our second half of our window pull. This time it's focusing more on the lower half, making it bright. So I'm going to go to the window pull action, run it, go over here and take the brush, paint with white at 100%, and bring that in the bottom half of that. Here. So that looks fairly decent. Now for the floor, I'm just going to run it across and see if that helps at all. That makes it way too dark. So I'm going to hit Command Z and get out of that. And just stick with, I think, the way it is right now. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, flatten the image. Last thing I want to do, I want to open this up one more time in Adobe Raw just to do my straightening and help the white balance just a little bit more, refine it just a little bit. So I'll see you in Adobe Raw. Okay, here's our photo in Adobe Raw. Now the first thing I want to do, even though I tried to get this photo as vertically correct as I could get it, it still needs some help. I'm going to go down here to geometry and try two things. I always teeter between automatic or vertical. Every now and then I'll need to use the guided, but let's try automatic. Okay, that did an okay job, but it's still off on this right hand side, so forget that. Try vertical, and it looks fairly decent. Okay, well, we won't complain about that one. We'll just go with that. All right, so next thing I want to do is work on my white balance. Let's try auto, see what happens. It made it a little too yellow. It did +5, -3. Let me bring that 3 down to a +2. Now I'm going to see it's making the photo more green, going to the green side, -3. See if I agree with that. I'm going to double click to bring it back to 0. Yes, there is some magenta in the photo, so I'll do the -3 on it. I actually will bring the temperature up to warmer, to a +3. And what I'm looking at is it seems a little more magenta and warm further away. Over here to the left, it seems a little bluish to me. Just to even that out, I'm going to take a brush, take out all these old settings, and I'm going to paint with a temperature of +4 to make it a little warmer on this side. Might be nitpicky, but stuff like that drives me crazy. All right, so that balanced it out just a little bit. Now I'm going to go to a global adjust. Still think it looks a little too magenta, so let me back that up just a tad. That was too much. There we go. All right, now let me look at this at the MLS size. Not bad at all. Okay, I don't have any blown out areas. Well, a little bit, show me. That's, you click this box up here, it'll show you in red what the highlighted areas are. Let me reduce the highlights just a little bit. All right, take that back off. All right, and I think that will do it, and this will be our completed photo of this room. Thanks for watching.